Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. We are back with the fan forum. This time, we've only got two Irish boys, but we're going to talk all things Champions Cup. Tiernan, you are a massive advocate for this tournament. Of course, we all like our franchise rugby. We all like our international rugby, but there's something that just hits a bit different when it comes to this Investec Champions Cup. Obviously, me as a South African, we are pretty new to it, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Right? You guys have experienced it a long time. Obviously, Tiernan and Jimmy, both of you, you can see with Jimmy's shirt, he's experienced a lot of hurt in it as well. 3 finals in a row. But boys, Tiernan, I'm coming to you first. How are you feeling? Are you excited for this journey to finally start? The one that you've been speaking about the whole year?
Yeah, really excited. Like this tournament, like you said, it's different from the other club rugby because it's only 8 games and every single game matters. So clubs play with more intensity. All the best players are in this tournament, and it's the only time you're ever going to see test level matches in club rugby. And it's been gone for a while now. It's now in December,
Yep.
and after that disastrous Autumn Nation series for Ireland, just so much given out about the team and not very great performances. I can't wait to be getting back into club rugby and especially Champions Cup. Great to see.
Yeah. Jimmy, are you on the same wavelength as
Yeah,
Tiernan said about?
100%. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be so critical of Ireland, but yeah, I do love getting back into the club rugby. It's always great. Like it's just like almost like a comfort, like coming back to it, and it's like Champions Cup in December, sit in the couch, fire lit, watch all the game, can't beat it.
The
Yeah.
Christmas rugby as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, fair enough. And Tiernan, as you said, like every game feels that it matters, right? The pool stages are a bit different than what we would expect. So for the people that don't understand, there's 4 pools, two top 14 teams, two URC teams, two Premiership teams, and the two teams from the same competition don't play each other. The rest just play each other, right? And then that's how they place. Top 4 teams of each pool goes through, top 16 or run of 16, and then from there they go on to the final. So in this video, we'll chat about the pools, who we think will go through, who we're excited to see from the pool stages, and then at the end we will run through some predictions for round one as well. You guys good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. People, if you do like a bit of rugby chat, a bit of this fan forum where it's just like a couple of fans, none of us are rugby experts or anything like that. We just chat a bit of shit when it comes to rugby. If you like that, please do remember to hit that subscribe button and hit a like on the video as well. We appreciate you guys. So yeah, let's get into it. Pool one, Toulouse, Union Bordeaux, Hollywood Bet Sharks, Exeter Chiefs, Leicester Tigers, and Ulster. Now I'm kind of in this. I've got the feeling that like the first 3 is probably how they place in the pool as well. Like you think of Toulouse, defending champions, absolutely insane. Bordeaux, finalists of the top 14. If I'm not mistaken, they beat Toulouse in the top 14. Um, what's it this season as well? And then the Sharks, defending champions of the Challenge Cup. They'll be ready for it. They've got the talent. They've got the boys there. Tiernan, what's your thoughts on Pool One? Who are you excited to see, and who do you think will kind of disappoint and just fade away?
Well, first, the obvious thing, Toulouse are going to top that pool pretty easily. They're going to be tough to beat, and I really do think the only team that's going to be able to stop them this season is Leinster. Bordeaux should come second in that pool again, quality side. They do normally challenge Toulouse a bit more. Obviously, not top 14 final. They got beat by 60 points. It's weird. Sharks would be interesting because they obviously won the Challenge Cup and they do seem to care a lot about Europe. And now that they have this squad that everyone's talking about, they are going to want to have to progress in both competitions. Now, they have been kind of shafted with the pool, obviously, Bordeaux and Toulouse, so I do think they'll come third. Now, the last 3, though, these are kind of going to be battling out. I do think all teams, well, maybe Leicester and Ulster on a very similar level. It's going to be definitely the match between them two is going to decide, I think, that final around 16 spot. And then Exeter Chiefs, they haven't won a game this season, and they lost to Newcastle, so they are getting dumped out of that pool. But yeah, my final predictions for Pool A, going to go Toulouse top it, Bordeaux come second, Sharks come third. I'm going to say Ulster go through fourth, Leicester to the Challenge Cup, and then Exeter get knocked out.
Yeah, this is probably one of the pools where you wish you could see teams from the same countries play, like Bordeaux and Toulouse. They look very. That would be an amazing game if they played each other. But I think it'll be very interesting the fact that they won't be playing each other and to see how both them do. And yeah, it'll be both them in the top two. I'd say Toulouse will probably be top, then Bordeaux second. Sharks, they've been on a decent run of form so far this season, and I think they'll finish third. I think it'll be a bit of a battle between Ulster and Leicester for that fourth spot and that to see who goes down to the Challenge Cup. And I think Exeter, they've almost dropped down to a Newcastle level now. I think Newcastle's almost replaced them as
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
almost been replaced as that like team who just doesn't win.
yeah. Yeah, it's Exeter's having a tough run, to be fair, right? And the thing is, I don't expect anything from them in this group stage, really. They just got to find their feet in the Premiership. But the thing about Leicester Tigers is always like, I think it's a shootout between Leicester Tigers and Ulster. And Ulster just, not Ulster, Leicester Tigers, they are just that team that pitches up for the big tournaments like this. I feel like they can get a couple of scrappy wins, 1 point victories, take the eat and run victory. But obviously, the thing that affects them negative is the fact that most other teams will probably get their 4 or 5 points against Exeter. And for Leicester Tigers, they don't necessarily have the luxury of just beating Exeter somewhere. It might not be us just writing off Exeter, but I mean, you can only judge on what you've seen this far, right? But so we're all in agreement that Toulouse, Bordeaux, and Sharks kind of just cruise through this pool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think Sharks can lose to the both of them, though. So
Sorry?
I do think Sharks will lose to Toulouse and Bordeaux.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I believe the same. But then I think they'll put up the Sharks will get better as the tournament goes on. Because then
Yeah,
it comes to that place where it's like, okay, these are guys that have won silverware, whether it's international or club rugby silverware. They've been there, they've done it, they know how to perform in the big moments. So the Sharks will get better as it goes on, but at least they don't have the toughest competition necessarily to get into the round of 16. Pool 2, these are where you guys put your smiles on. Leinster.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is a tough pool to call. And when I'm talking about
yeah,
tough, spot 3 and 4, that's probably up for grabs in my opinion. Leinster, Clermont, La Rochelle, Bristol Bees, Benetton, Bath. We can all probably agree that Benetton's gone.
Yeah.
yeah. I think when they drew this pool, I thought it was easy enough for Leinster, but obviously Bristol have improved massively. Bath again, a quality side. Claremont, I don't know if they can afford to focus on this competition because obviously they're kind of in that relegation battle in the top 14. And then Benetton, as much as I would love to see them do well, I do think this tournament's just a bit out of their depth. So I do have them coming. Um, yeah, I got them coming sixth. In fifth, again, tough to call, but I do think Claremont, like I said, they just can't afford to focus on this. I don't think they'll be playing their strongest team a lot. But now the top
Really?
four, obviously, I do have Leinster
They've
top on it.
been Clermont's in the top 4 at the moment for the top 14, aren't they?
Yeah,
Why do you reckon they don't play their strongest team?
because the clubs like Toulouse and Bordeaux, they have such good depth they can afford to focus on both competitions and play a B team in top 14 still get a result. But Claremont can't really do that. So I do think they're going to have to go all out. Again, they do like this competition. They're kind of in a Leinster situation a couple of years ago where they just lost a bunch of finals in a row. So you never know. They might care about, but again, I just think all the other teams are better. In fourth place will go Bristol. I do think it's going to be between Bath and Bristol for that third and fourth place. Now,
Mm.
Bath could put off an upset, and I do think opening night Bath will go beat La Rochelle. But top two, Leinster, La Rochelle, been there, done that, played in two finals, and that's going to be an interesting game between the both of them as well because it's become one of the biggest rivalries in European rugby at the moment. These two.
Jimmy, are you in agreement? Because I don't fully agree with everything Tina necessarily just said there.
Yeah, I actually think that the two English teams will finish second and third.
I've got
I think
exactly
this
the
might
same,
be.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think this
La
might be
Rochelle
a
just
bit of
kind
a
of,
fall off for Larshall.
La
I think
Rochelle just show up for
Larshall.
this competition though. No, they didn't
Yeah,
last
but
year,
They
but
they do
generally they
show
do,
up
and
for
they've
it,
never
right?
had.
But
Yeah, and the
remember
thing
last
is,
season even, yeah, they went far, but it's the same vibe as the Sharks, right? I think they'll scrape it through in the group stages and then kind of pick up their game when it matters most. I don't they
yeah,
won't drop out of the top 4 necessarily. I think they will be wary of Clermont, but they won't be beaten by Clermont, or well, pipped in terms of positions by Clermont, but I think they sneak in at fourth and then That's it. But I'm feeling very confident. Bristol Bears are playing some great rugby. Bath playing some great rugby as well. I think they get second and third. I agree with you, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think
Yeah,
that
you never
like
know.
I think Leinster have really figured out how to beat Leinster recently, as we seen last season, putting 40 points on them at the Aviva and going to Leinster in the pools and getting that result. And I think it'll be same. I think it'll be the same this year. I think Leinster will be able to go to Leinster and get that win. I'm not going to write them off, but I do think that Leinster have figured out how to beat them, and I think that Bath and Bristol will actually finish second and third.
Are you feeling extremely confident going up against the likes of La Rochelle again?
Yeah, I'm actually a lot
I
more
think so. Yeah,
confident.
yeah. I think the main thing with La Rochelle is that they got found out. So obviously they don't have the strongest team. Even when they won the tournament twice, they didn't have the most dazzling team on paper. It was kind of just quality players, but it was mainly Will Skelton just had him like making massive carries, just being biggest guy on the pitch, and that helped them a lot. But then in the quarterfinal last year, you had some Mark and Skelton. So Furlong, you saw him every single days pretty much. He was just on
Yeah,
Skelton,
played him out of the
stopping him.
game.
Yeah, and then they managed to keep him out the game, and then their physicality dropped massively. You had like Lavani Bodier, great player, but he's kind of aging, and that's the story with their team. So I don't think they'll have a chance beating us. I do think we're going to go to La Rochelle and get a bigger result than we did in those days
Well,
last year.
let's do the early prediction. Do you think this is Leinster's year? You think you finally get it done?
It's tough to call. Toulouse, I do think the only team that can stop Leinster is Toulouse, and they got really unlucky not to beat them last year. It was extra time, and then discipline kind of fell out the way, and they just didn't keep Dupont quiet, and that's all you have to do to beat Toulouse. And you look last couple of years when they Toulouse's biggest fear is coming to Dublin in this tournament because they always just get smashed by us. And the final last year was the first time they beat us in I don't know 10 years or something.
Mm,
So I do think it's our year, especially when you look at Artie Snyman and Jordy Barrett on top of this fully international side, pretty much. It's
yeah.
going to be
If you
tough
get
to
it over
stop.
the line,
Now,
it's because of Jock Nienaber and Arge Snyman.
Of course, you have to take the South African
I
credit.
don't care. I don't care where the players are from. Please just win this tournament. This season. Just so
So
emotionally invested in this
at
thing.
the start of the year, you said, okay, well, we're not going to focus on this. Just get the URC done. Now that this is starting, you're like, okay, this is our year again.
Oh no, I never said that. Oh no,
Starting right
I don't
back
think I
up
said that.
with it.
I'm always win this, but don't neglect the URC. And they have the squad depth to do that. So they should be focused
Yeah.
on both.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's go
Pool
on to,
three.
to pool three. I've got Saints, Munster, Bulls, Stade Francais, Saracens, and Castro. I'll go first. I've got Saracens to.
Castrate.
Hey?
Castrate.
Yeah. Well, how do you pronounce it?
Castrate.
Cast.
Castrate.
Whatever.
Castrate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, day six. Goodbye. See you later.
Yeah, get out.
Um, Saracens to top. I've got Bulls coming second. I've got Stade Francais third. And I've got Saints fourth. I've got Munster to drop out. You can only
Ooh,
judge it on what
I
you
love
what you've
that.
seen in my opinion.
yeah.
Saints, they were great last season. They've still got a lot of the same players. I know they've lost Courtney Laws, right? But they still got some proper talent there. Munster just look all over the gaff at the moment, all over the place. Um, Bulls, they won't lose at Loftus. They'll get their guaranteed victories there. And then Saracens, they've been very impressive in the Premiership. I know they just lost to the Falcons, right? So take it with a grain of salt. But they have been very good. Um, yeah. Is there any
So
arguments around that, or do you guys think Munster sneaks in?
it's definitely a tough pool to call. Not because there's any great teams. It's just a bit of a mid off this one. I don't think anyone's going to go undefeated. I think like Northampton, they might win three and then lose one. Same with Sarries, win three, lose one. The way I think it's going to go, I think, yeah, I do agree. I think Sarries will top it. Northampton, they're not going to come top two. They're not going to get a home knock again, but I do think they're going to pull out for this tournament. They won the Prem last season. They're going to want to do well in Europe. And you should look at some of the players they have. They might be a bit washed in the
Yeah,
Premiership, but
they did
they're
great in this. Literally the
far.
same thing last season,
Yeah,
right?
semi-finals. That's
Yeah,
even making a semi-final in this competition is really good
And
stuff. So they
arguably
won't drop
should
Leinster are
have
out.
won
very
that
close.
game.
I know. I think it was
Mm,
a lot that scoreline was a lot more down to Leinster falling asleep than Northampton being
Sure,
better.
buddy.
But
Sure.
Well,
no,
Leinster were about
they
14 points up in the first half.
yeah, like we got
It
we
was just the backs coming
Leinster
on
switched
and
off
missing a couple
definitely.
tackles.
Yeah,
Or Saints just started playing rugby. They started getting some
maybe they did.
belief.
Yeah,
Maybe,
so
yeah.
the way I think this pool's going to go, I think Sarries top it. Um, you know what? We'll go Northampton second. I can see the Bulls getting beaten at home in this.
Who's going to beat
Yeah,
the Bulls at home?
who are they playing at home? I think they're playing Northampton, and Northampton will bring their full squad then.
No, they won't.
I
Do
think
you
they
think
will.
they will? Because the Bulls sent a weaker team in the previous season.
Yeah, they're just going to want to go smash them. Yeah, get
Even
a bit of
if they
revenge
send
for
a
that.
full full strength team to the Bulls, they'll lose.
I don't think so. I don't know, but
They're not used to playing in that altitude. It's
yeah,
different with Munster and Leinster and those guys that have the experience of playing in South Africa. When you pull out a
these guys
random couple of
don't know
guys
what you
to
mean.
go and play for Saints, to go and play in Loftus, unless they know they have to win that game to continue, then they
Yeah,
might do it. But if not,
but yes,
just save
I'm
your
still
breath.
calling it. And then I'm going to have Bulls in third, and I get Munster to scrape in fourth. And then the two French teams just kind of depends who gets more bonus points. I think Stade will go and Challenge Cup, and then Castres will get knocked out. Again, they're two teams that don't really care about this. You know what? If these French teams that like to not care about this tournament, get out of here. Get your arrogance away. You're not bigger in this
Mm.
competition. Same, we've seen it in the international rugby as well. They think the top
The
14
thing,
is
the thing
bigger now.
is, Stade Francais always do so well when it comes to the top 14. So I'm judging them on top 14, right?
Yeah, but
Because
they came
obviously we
last.
are
They came
still new
last in their
to.
pool last year.
Hey?
They came
Yeah,
last
no,
in their
we were
pool.
in their pool. Both of
Yeah.
us were in their pool.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what's your thoughts on it?
I think this is a tough one to call. I think a lot of these teams are on a similar level, really. And I think it's hard to tell with the Bulls, really. Like, I don't think they will send a full strength squad away. I think they will when they're playing at home, and I think those will be where they pick up the results in this pool. Saris, I'd say they will actually top it. I know they lost to the Falcons, but I'd say they are up for doing well in the Champions Cup. Then I think Northampton will come second. Yeah, they were amazing last season. Of course, they've lost a couple of players. They got to a semi-final last year, and I think they'll be second. Bulls, I'd say they'll be third, but I think they'll manage to pick up enough results at home. And then I think Munster will actually drop out the Challenge Cup
Yeah.
and Stade Francais to finish fourth.
It's so tough to call with Munster, right? Because they always have these slow starts, but this is extra slow now at the moment. Obviously, they
Yeah.
just came off a victory against the Lions. The Lions have looked pretty good. Um, it's tough to call with the Munster one. Because
They
especially
always
now
look
after
stronger.
you said
They-
Tian and that Stade Francais won't play their strongest team. Because now you're totally flipping the script, right? Because Munster will
Yeah.
most definitely play their strongest team and try to advance.
As much as I don't like Munster, I don't want to see them do bad in this competition. I always want the Irish teams to put up good performances in this, and I think they will. They had a
I'm
crap
I'm
season
gonna
last
I'm
year.
gonna I'm gonna switch up just because you said that. So I'm gonna switch
Yeah.
Munster to sneak in at fourth and then start Francais to drop out. Okay, so Saints goes third, Munster fourth, start Francais. Because if you're not going to commit in a tournament like this, where other teams are going to commit and play strongest team, you can forget about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I've got them dropping off drastically now. Um,
I think,
let's move on
yeah,
to
Munster.
sorry.
I think Munster, they really struggled in the pools last year too. They really
Yeah,
choked it. They really choked a couple of times in that.
yeah. Let's move on to the final pool.
How do you even call this one? Who's
Sorry,
topping it? Who's topping this one? Who's getting knocked out
of this final one.
of this pool? Like this
Stormers
this
are
this
topping
is
it.
going to be every single one of these games is going to be one score, and I'm calling it now. It just really depends who's better on the day and who's going to go through. Like all these teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah,
It's tough to pick
I think
someone
home
to
ground
get.
advantage plays a massive role in this one.
Yeah,
Um, I'm going with so the Stormers will kind of want to see the likes of Sale as their one that they should be winning, and we've got Sale at home, right? So that would we would take that. And I don't rate Racing 92 that well. That
No,
great.
they've been terrible. Yeah.
So the Stormers will probably want to see that, which means they go through. I've got the Stormers going through. Obviously, I'm a Stormers fan, right? So back your team.
Yeah.
Glasgow, because they don't lose at home. Glasgow never loses at home. So I've got Stormers and Glasgow to go through. And I've got Sale and Harlequins to also go through. I think Toulon and Racing are the two teams that fall out.
We're a bit of French disaster in this competition we're predicting, aren't we?
I feel like I'm being very harsh to these French teams. But Toulon
I don't
hasn't been
like
the
them.
same
Get
as
out.
they've always been over the years, right?
Nah.
But
See
Harlequins
what
has
they could.
also been a bit shit. No, I'm switching it. Toulon is going to qualify. Harlequins will drop out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Glasgow to top it. I had Quins a bit higher, but again, they haven't been great this season. Again, it's just so tough to call. Yeah, Stormers should get 2 home wins because again, it's just tough to go win in South Africa.
Who's the Stormers playing at home? Do you have the fixtures there?
No, I don't have the fixtures up. Here, I'll get them.
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know we're playing
Too many look
Harlequins
through.
at the Stoop.
Yeah, okay. You might get a win there as well. See, I think Stormers, Glasgow to top it. Stormers come second. We'll go Sale in third and Queens in fourth. Toulon come fifth and then Racing come last. Get
So you
knocked
got
out.
the two French teams to drop out.
Yeah, and again. So yeah.
How does it work that the strongest French teams are in the same pool?
They just did the draw terribly. They put all the champions in one pot and then they put everyone else in the second pot. Terrible idea.
That's crazy. Jimmy?
Yeah, I think this is a really tough one to call. I think Glasgow will top it. They have a great record home. Um, the rest are very, very tough to call. I think Racing will make it through. Maybe I think the Stormers will too. I think they always do pretty well considering how well the South African teams do. They don't always perform very well. But Stormers, they did decent last year. Were very unlucky not to go through to the quarterfinals. And yeah, I think they'll actually get through. I know they've been in a bit of a rough patch at the minute, but yeah, I think it'll be Glasgow top, Stormers second, Quins third, and Racing fourth, and Deal and Toulon to drop out.
Yeah. Okay.
So just so tough to call. It could go anyway.
Yeah, it really is.
depends on the games themselves.
Yeah.
They're all so evenly matched.
Fair enough. Okay. I said we'll go through the predictions. I think we go through that at another time. I want to ask some other questions for you guys before we wrap up this episode. Who do you see as your surprise dark horses for this tournament this year?
Definitely Bordeaux.
Jimmy, let's go to you first.
I think last year Bordeaux would have been seen as my dark horses, and I think they had a like 1 in 100 off days against Harlequins in the quarterfinals, and I really thought that they would have met Leinster in the final, and they didn't end up going through. But yeah, I thought they would have been last year, but I think it might be a bit different. I think a lot of people are seeing them as one of the favourites. So this is going to be a tough one to call, really. I think maybe one of the English teams could be a dark horse. But yeah, it's just tough to call. It could be maybe a Bath or someone like that could be a dark
you
horse.
stole it. Yes. I'm
Yeah,
smelling
I think
I'm smelling Bath to be one of those teams that just
yeah.
almost the same as Harlequins last year, where it's like you will doubt them, but still they just get over the line, get over the line, get over the line, get over the line. And then I wouldn't put
It's
it
kind of
past
last year
them.
they nearly. I would have had them to go further last year, but they went out in round of 16 against Exeter because Finn Russell got injured. It's kind of their
Yeah.
only thing to have.
Yeah, that was unlucky. I'm going Bath as my dark horses for this thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they put up a couple of absolutely stellar performances. I wouldn't even put it up against Bristol Bears, but I'm not sure how their squad depth necessarily is in these for these big tournaments and those type of things. So yeah, Bath just feels like the better call when I just think Bath just sounds a bit more sexy to go further in this competition. What do you have, Tiernan?
Yeah. So I think that obviously the two main ones, Leinster, Toulouse, I think that will be the final. But Bordeaux, without doubt, are the main dark horse of this. A lot of people kind of wrote them off after the top 14 final last year, but they were good all season again. Harlequins. It was a one-score game at 40 points. It was just a madness. And again, Harlequins just had the best game of their lives. And I would have had them to make the final even last year, but they didn't. But this year, I think Leinster Toulouse final. Semi-finals will be Bordeaux will be there, Sharks might be there, and then La Rochelle. A lot of people writing off La Rochelle, but they love this competition. If they get a good draw, they can easily make a semi-final. I wouldn't say a final at this stage, but semi-final, they'll go far. Some English teams, I just think with the way the English Premiership run, the salary cap, they don't have the quality to go far in this competition. I'm going to say someone it would be maybe Bath. Definitely think Bath. If Finn Ross has a good game, it's got like Ben Spencer there at 9 to help him. Ross Maloney, best course, their best player from Leinster last year.
Of course.
You know,
Of
I'm
course.
also not writing off at all. Because now I'm thinking at the pool stages. If Glasgow tops the pool stages
Yeah,
and they put up performances that can make them get home playoff games every single time, they are going to be
that's
a tough nut to crack. Very, very tough to beat.
definitely. And I did the knockout bracket earlier and actually had them in the semi-final because of that. They just had home games.
Hey,
And
that's not a bad
who did
call,
they have
really.
their home games? Who did they have in the semi-final?
Yeah, so actually this is completely different from what I said will happen. Yeah. So Bath, where were Bath? Scroll right away there. So Bath had Bristol and then La Rochelle. They're two
Oh,
games they could
think how
win.
good a game between Bath and Glasgow would be.
Ah, sin. That would just be amazing, yeah.
That'd
Because
be
again,
very
they're
interesting.
two very similar teams. They're good in their day, and sometimes they can just be crap and
Oh,
lose.
I would love a game between the Bulls and Toulouse, by the way. I know you got Munster winning there, but I would love
They'd
a game
smash
between.
them. Toulouse would smash them. Doesn't matter where it's played, they smash
Okay, so my dark horses are either Bath or Glasgow. If Glasgow tops the pool four, be wary. And obviously Union Bordeaux, they beat Toulouse already, right? They are looking Louis Bilberet, Peno, Luku, Jalibert. Like there's excuse me, there's proper talent in that Bordeaux team. Yeah,
Definitely.
players to watch. Anyone? Obviously Dupont. This is his tournament.
BLBRA.
Yeah. Bielberry, definitely. Dupont. We'll go. Do you want to go with all the teams? We'll just do one player for all the top teams.
Do you reckon Geordie Barrett starts nearly every single game now for Leinster?
I don't think so. I think he might be a utility back off the bench because he's not here for long enough to integrate him into the team.
How long
And
will he be here for?
only this season.
The rest of the season?
The rest of the season, that's it. So obviously, you look,
It's
where
still
does
a
he play? He
long
plays at
time, you
12.
know.
You got Henshaw there. You can't drop
Yep.
Henshaw or Ringrose. Fullback can't drop
Henshaw's
Keelan.
been sensational.
Yeah, you can't drop. Like I'd argue, Ringrose and Henshaw are both better than Jordy. So I think what he's going to bring is just a utility skill to be able to slot into any position at 55 minutes in that back line and just make massive impact. That's what I think they're going to do with him because you can't drop Henshaw at 12. You can't drop Ringrose at 13. Keelan, no one touches him, and there's no point playing him on the wing because you're not utilizing his skills enough.
Mm, yeah, fair enough. Player to watch: Bernhard Jansen van Rensburg at the
I
Bristol
can't
Bend.
even picture that name in my head.
Yeah,
How do
fair
you spell that?
Well, we'll wrap it up over here, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining. Yeah, so this one will probably go out on Tuesday morning now, and then we'll
yeah.
have one on Thursday morning, which is our official predictions. But
All
have a
right.
good one, boys. People, please
Thanks.
do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. Thank you for always joining. Please be wild in the comments, chat to us, and we will see you next time. Shalom, bye bye.
I'll go.
Thanks.
One.